Being truly immortal is fun. Taking no damage from the most powerful attacks in the game is fun. But what if we were to make it funner? That sounded more impactful in my head. Hello, my fellow immortal hunters. We who never caught have been having a wonderful time in wilds, to the point of being able to stand AFK against even arch-tempered level monsters until they get tired and leave from exhausting themselves, failing to kill us. But I am back today to give us the biggest upgrade yet. And this isn't just for the Immortal build, this is going to largely be able to apply to literally anyone on any build using any weapon, and essentially give you a permanent 50% damage reduction. And you might be thinking to yourself, but how? Nothing new has been added, it's not even Title Update 2 yet. Well, hold on to your greatswords, because this is absolutely ludicrous. So, you may have noticed something in the arch-tempered Raidao you've been seeing in the background. If not, pay attention to my health. Every time I take damage, what kind of isn't happening? I'm not getting any red health. I'm taking hits, but then instantly being back on pure green health and letting Zoshia's recovery kick in. This is kinda silly, and the reason it's silly is when you take damage in Monster Hunter, you take half of it as pure, and you take half of it as red. If you eliminate that red, you essentially gain, as I alluded to, 50% damage reduction. So what's actually going on here? Well, introducing natural recovery. So as I say, when you take damage, you get your red health, and then that will slowly regen, assuming you don't take further damage or heal yourself or anything like that. So I'm in training right now, I have literally no armor on, so no defense, and I'm taking the biggest of smacks possible from the dummy. And as you can see, yeah, you gotta stand there a fair while to get that red gone. And that while on this hit is 90 seconds. It's something like 0.66 health a second when you don't have anything helping you. So that's very, very slow then. If we go on to Recovery Up 3, the skill, this, well, quadruples the speed at which you recover that red health. So as you might imagine, that 90 seconds then becomes 22 seconds. And this is what we use in the Immortal set, but it's honestly quite a potent 3 ranks of a level 1 skill to have. And normally, this is where it ends. We quadruple our recovery, that means we get to Zoshia's pulse kicking in 4 times as fast, all is good. If we're in the Immortal set, we're barely taking damage, so there's barely any red health, and we never really needed to look past that. And neither did you guys, it would seem. There's been so many comments being happy with how effortless the Immortal build makes any given challenge in the game. But as always, I like to push further. So in order to do that then, we are first going to talk about a little innocent item. Meet Immunizer. So what this does is, well, also boost that red health recovery. That's that natural recovery. Isn't that right, Alex J. Gilpin? That'll only make sense to literally one person, but they will now be sat there going, finally! And, you know, that's worth it to me. In any case, this then speeds you up not as much as Recovery Up level 3, but still a decent amount. It takes that 90 seconds of natural recovery down to 30 seconds, so a third of the time. That's all well and good. Now then is where we go a little bit further. Now is when we really let wilds shine. Yeah! Okay, where are you? How did you do that? a hunting horn, the Rathian hunting horn specifically. And the reason for that is it has a little ditty by the name of Recovery Up Large as a song. If we then play this song, you get the equivalent of Recovery Up Level 3, the skill. It's exactly as effective. Takes that 90 seconds down to 22 seconds. So here we have all four for you to see the comparison. Natural recovery, immunizer recovery, recovery up level 3 the skill, and recovery up large the song. And there is quite the marked difference, at least between a couple of them. So now we have this baseline, and it's really just honestly absurd how slow it is without anything. In any case, we have this baseline then. What do we do from here? Well, you might be asking yourself a very important question at this stage, which is, do any of this stack with each other? And you might be able to figure out the answer. So, if we have Recovery Up 3, the skill, and drink an Immunizer, that 90 seconds to recover naturally hit gets its red health restored in just 8 seconds. Look how fast that actually is. So, not done yet, because yes, the hunting horn stacks as well. And these all don't just stack with each other on top, it's multiplicative. So if we play the song, if we have Recovery Up Level 3, if we drink an Immunizer, that hit that took 90 seconds to naturally recover now takes 2 seconds. Look at the health. So anytime a monster hits you, zup, zup, you are just back on no red health, achieving that pseudo 50% damage reduction. And that is kind of absurd. How long does all this last for then? Well, we can of course use the horn as our second weapon, and then whatever you're actually using the Immortal Build, or as I say, not, this works with everything, in your main weapons. You pull out the horn, you play the song, and you switch back to your main weapon. Now, a lot of songs get reduced duration, they go away. This isn't really something you can do for the most part, because this was fixed all the way back when beta made it a meta thing to bring a secondary horn and buff yourself up. However, Recovery Up Large isn't really considered too crazy of a song, so even if you switch weapons, it still lasts for around 3 minutes for you, which is plenty long enough to be worth using. Then you can do something like put on an item prolonger charm before you drink your Immunizer on your hunt, and then swap back to the defense charm for the immortal set or whatever charm you are using, and keep that benefit so it lasts extra long, so you only need to drink one of them per zone, and you are comfortable and good there. The skill, of course, is passive and forever on. So actually having all 3 of them consistently going is fairly effortless. We can easily use that Rathian hunting horn as our secondary, your main weapon as your main weapon, and now for the first time ever in Wilds, we can reliably stack all 3 of these no matter how you're playing or what weapon you're playing with. Which is what results in, yes, this ridiculousness that is instantly healing up any bit of red health damage you take while fighting the monster, which raises your survival consistency astronomically. It looks ridiculous, it is ridiculous. This is one of my favorite things ever in a Monster Hunter game. Like, it is 45 times faster healing. Like, come on! Oh my god, I absolutely love it. So now, I just cannot wait for the next proper gear upgrade for the Immortal, hopefully likely in Title Update 2, to then put on top of this. So to wrap this up in a nice little bow, let's just go over the actual build itself real quick, in case you're not up with the most recent Immortal developments. It's your classic 4-piece shia for the maximum super recovery, and then the Suja Sash. The nicely upgraded now to 5 ranks thanks thanks to Archery Defense Charm, you want your rocksteady, but truly use whatever mantle you like. Here are your decorations to make it all function. Swap out your maximum might for like stamina surge if you are a bow or a dual blades and you don't have much use of max might. Use them however you like, and you are ready. Of course, then the big change is to put the Queen Chord Maker in your secondary slot so we can play at that recovery speed large and give it that sonorous as well. That is, well, that. I hope you enjoyed this then, a little bit of a deep dive into recovery speed, natural recovery, stacking everything together and making Immortal even more immortalier. Truly, as I said, I find this just incredible. It is hilarious seeing your health zip up like that, and it really does create a essential 50% damage reduction effect no matter what you're doing, and even if you're not using the Immortal build, you can just put all three of the components on and off you go. For now then, like if you've enjoyed this, look forward to next time, subscribe and hit the bell for more, consider supporting the future of the channel on Patreon down below, and until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.